Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm happy to be with you today. It's a wonderful day, not quite as warm as it has been, but that's okay. Winter's coming, and then it'll get warm again. This morning, I want to continue my discussion of who is Jesus. And I want to pick a passage from Colossians chapter 2. Now, there are a lot of things we can say about Jesus, and I've said a few, and I'll say a few more. But this passage tells us something really interesting. Let's look at Colossians chapter 2, beginning with verse 8. Don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that comes from human thinking and from the spiritual powers of this world, rather than from Jesus. For in Jesus lives all the fullness of God in a human body. You are also complete through your union with Jesus, who is the head over every ruler and authority. Well, I like that part, but don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. I have a relative who he and his wife believe in spiritual things. They even believe in fairies in the fireplaces. And they see all of these spiritual things that interfere with people's lives. Now, that sounds really interesting. I mean, it's a conversation at the least. But it fits into the category of what Paul says here are empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense. I like that word. It's just goofiness. Now, please understand, I'm not saying the person's goofy. I'm saying the person's ideas are goofy. And I know a lot of people today think Christianity is goofy. And I don't blame them. The way we Christians have acted in the past and are acting now, the way we say one thing and live a different something else, that would bug me too. And in fact, it does bug me immensely. But that doesn't mean that Christianity is bad or wrong. Because here's what it says. For in Jesus lives all the fullness of God in a human body. Jesus lives all the fullness of God as a human being. You and I can't do that. Oh, we can live godly lives, but we're going to mess up. If you think you'll never mess up, you're kidding yourself. But Jesus never did. All of who God is was embodied in this person of Jesus. And what did he do? Well, think of all the stories, all the people whose lives he touched, from the paralytic to the woman at the well, just trying to get water, to those that were raised from the dead, to those that were taught new understandings like Nicodemus. I mean, Jesus embodied everything of God, all of his wisdom, all of his stories, all of his actions. The woman caught in adultery, those religious leaders, they thought they had him nailed to the wall. How dare him defy the Torah? And what does he say? Well, okay, you who doesn't have any sin, cast the first stone. I never would have thought of that as an answer. I spent my career as a pastor trying to find the right words to convince somebody of something, or to help somebody, or to share the goodness of God. Jesus got it right every time, but I haven't. But I keep trying. Because I know the person to follow is the one who embodied all the fullness of God, Jesus. If you want to know what the truth is in T big letters, then read the Sermon on the Mount. You want to know what the compassion of God is? Read the gospel stories, and particularly the end of it at the crucifixion. You want to know whether God cares about the unimportant, then read some of the stories. Even Zacchaeus, who was an important person in the culture, but Jesus changed his life. It says here that in all the fullness of God you find Jesus. And then it goes on to say, so you are also complete through your union with him, who is the head of every ruler and authority. Who's really the boss in this world? Well, it's not you. It's not me. It's surely not the politicians. It's not even those crazies who make war all the time thinking that somehow they're a big man because they got a machine gun. Who's the boss? Jesus. Now, he's wise enough to let us mess it up. I don't know why, except I know he wants no one to be left out. And my idea of what ought to happen from God isn't God's idea. And it says, in him, in our union with him, when we invite him into our lives and try to walk with him on a daily life, in that process, we too can live the fullness of God. Now, again, as I say repeatedly, doesn't mean we won't make mistakes, we won't mess up, we won't do something really, really bad. But we keep trying. And we keep trying because we want to see who God is and honor him. And because those around us are watching us. They're watching you. What are you doing today that would reflect God's love? What are you doing that wouldn't reflect God's love? Even when you go to the store, say something nice to the cashier. And don't just well, have a good day. Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. But, give it a little bit of meaning and a little bit of emotion. I sure hope you have a really good day. Or the one that gets me is, have a good one. One what? What? I'm going to do that one day. Next time somebody says to me, have a good one, I want to say, one what? Just see what they say. See, Jesus never gave a frivolous answer. He always took the time to minister to people who were hurting and were seeking God. And if you're in that category today, just remember the Jesus who walked on this earth, it says, lives all the fullness of God. Do you want to see God? You want to find God? Give your life to the Lord. Give it to Jesus. What do you think about that? Hope you have a great rest of the week. We're getting close to the end of it. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can, as fast as we can, to help meet those needs. Thanks so much for listening. You're really special in my eyes, and you're special in God's. So I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.